Hi and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on this cute tie strap dress. Take a good look at this is what we're going to be doing today. So here's everything that I'm using for this project. And this is my Ankara fabric, so I folded it over, and this area here is going to be the shoulder, the top area of my dress anyway. So we're starting there, and the first thing that I'm doing is to mark the full length of my dress minus 4 inches because of the fact that this is a sleeveless dress. So we take out 4 inches. You take out at least 4 inches. You can take out as much as 5 or 6 depending. So I'm just marking the length of the dress and then drawing a straight line to connect my points together. So you can see there, that's going to be my hem. And now at this shoulder area, I'm marking my shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2 minus an inch or 2. I actually subtracted 1 inch, but I should have done 2. And then now I'm coming down by 1.5 inches, and I'm just doing like a curved line to that shoulder point. So you can see it right there. That's like the neckline of this dress. So this is where the armhole is going to be. So right at that armhole, I'm coming down by 4 inches, and I'm just marking that. So you can see right there, that's the end of my armhole. So I'm going to make like a curved line at that point there, as you can see me doing with my chalk. And so that is the armhole, and this area on this line here, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 inches and then plus 1 inch for sewing allowance. This is something that I do for A-line dresses. You mark your widest horizontal measurements at that point. So if your waist is bigger than your hips, then you use your waist instead. And then on my hem, I'm taking what we used at that area, at that armhole, and then I'm adding 5 inches to that. Sorry, 6 inches to that to create that A-line shape. And then at the corner there, I'm coming up by 1.5 inches because I just want to create like a curved line for my hem. But this isn't necessary, so you don't have to do this part if you don't want to. It's just basically for aesthetics, it's not compulsory. So I'm connecting my armhole to my hem with a straight line. So I'm just using my tip sort of to make sure that my line is as straight as possible. If you have a long ruler, you can use that instead. So I'm just cutting, following my chalk, and then this is what we have. So you can see, this is the armhole, this is the neckline, and you can see that that whole A-line shape. And yeah, so now I'm just placing it on my folded fabric again to cut the back of the dress, and I'm just tracing exactly what I have for the front. No need for zip allowance or anything like that. So we have our 2 pieces, front and back. Armhole, neckline, and now we're going to cut some strips of fabric that we're going to use to finish the neckline and the armhole. So from my leftover fabric here, I'm just cutting, I'm marking 2.5 inches for the width of the strips. So that's what you can see me cutting right here. So they are 2.5 inches wide. So I'm just going to do that to cut as many strips as possible. And then for the straps that are going to serve as like the sleeves, I'm going to cut from my fabric here. So I'm using just about 4 inches and then I'm just going to mark that all the way down, and then I'm going to cut the strip out. So we have one long strip of fabric here, and I've divided it into 4. Each of them is about 19 inches long, and I'm basically going to take each one and fold it over like this, and then sew all the way around and leave one place open, leave this end here open, so I can turn it right side out. And you need just 4 of these, 2 for each sleeve. And those strips that we cut earlier, this is what they look like. I basically ironed them kind of like the way bias tapes are ironed. So you can see I folded it over the same way your bias tape is folded over. If you have a bias maker, you can also use that instead of ironing it, or you can actually just use bias tapes. And these are my straps for the sleeves. You can see I've sewn them and I've ironed them, and this is the open edge where I turned them. So we have 4 of these, 2 for each sleeve, like I mentioned earlier. And now our dress, the body of our dress. So this is the armhole, and this is the neckline that we're going to use these strips to finish off. So I'm just going to open it up and kind of sandwich my neckline in the middle of this strip of fabric, and then I'm just going to run a straight stitch to hold them all together. So I'm going to do this on the neckline and on the armhole as well. So I'm just going to place it, make sure everything is secure, and then just a regular straight stitch. So I'm going to do that on the front and on the back as well. And this is what I have. I've joined my strips to my dress, and you can see it looks neat and properly finished. So I'm just going to join the sides of my dress together and then attach these the 4 straps that we made earlier to each corner, just like you can see me doing here. The way I'm holding it, just attach it with a straight stitch, go back and forth a few times to make sure it's secure, and there you go. So I'm going to do it on all 4 points. And then now for the ruffles, I have my plain fabric folded over. I folded it over like 4 times. I'm just going to cut as many strips of fabric as I can from this. This is just leftover fabric that I had lying around, and I like that the color matched the Ankara. So each strip is going to be 7 inches long, and so I'm just going to mark that 7 inches at different points like you can see me doing, and then with my scissors I'm just going to cut all the way through as one. And then I'm just going to do this as many times as possible with this fabric and see how much I can get. So we have three layers. So I'm going to, so you can see how wide they are. This one folded over twice is about 28 inches. So yeah, and they are all the same length and everything. So I'm just going to join each of them, all 3 of them together at the sides like this, and it's going to make like a big circle that I'm going to attach to the dress. So this is what our dress is looking like right now, and this is our plain fabric down here. I've joined the sides together, and now I'm going to attach it to our dress. So I'm just going to lay it on the dress at the bottom like this, front facing front, the front side of each fabric of the fabric facing each other, and then I'm going to create tiny pleats basically with my hand and sew as I go. And that's basically it. After that, I'll hem the fabric, and then this is what I got. This is my dress. These are what the ruffles look like. If you also have a gather's foot on your machine, that's going to be a lot easier to do. But I did this manually, and this is what my dress looks like. This is my sister in her dress. She really loved it, and I love it too, and I hope you do as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and to subscribe if you haven't already.